All right, guys, doing a video here about power rankings, week 6 edition, heading into week 6, who I believe is at the top 14 teams, because that's what I listed, the top 14 teams, and there was a lot of edits. I thought long and hard about it. Yes, long and hard, and don't think it's an innuendo of any activities, you weirdos. But it's tough to break down these 14 teams because all these teams are like meshed into one average of mediocrity teams. You don't have the Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning scoring 7 touchdowns. You don't have that Tom Brady team. You don't have that Rams team that looked amazing with Jared Goff and Todd Gurley, Jared Goff and Todd Gurley. And you don't have those teams. You don't have any of those teams that look amazing, but you have a lot of above average teams, and that's what I'm going to list right now. And I'm starting at 14. First off, 15 and 16, Chargers, Steelers, and activity. That's why you're not in it. I know it's a bye week. Don't be mad, Steelers fans. I know it's a bye week, but again, you guys really haven't beat anyone good, and that's just what it is. You guys barely beat the Jets. I know it was week 1, but I mean, hey, it's a regular season game, so they all count the same, right? It's a win or a loss. They all count the same. So we're doing here. They have week 6. Oh, Chargers also injured. It's not really their fault, but Joe Alt not playing. Rashawn Slater's been out for the year. Joe Alt's out for a while. Offensive line is complete garbage. Justin Herbert has no time to throw, and that's an actual issue, right? So at number 14, we have the New England Patriots. They would be higher, but they lost to the Raiders. And I know it's week 1, but all games count the same. I don't care if it's week 1 or 4. They lost to the Raiders. They lost to the Raiders. And I know what you're going to say. Well, if I wanted a week 1 ranking, I'll watch a week 1 ranking. But again, you need to be listed. You need to be I only can account for what is listed on your game schedule. And what's listed on your game schedule is a loss with the Raiders and then barely beating the Miami Dolphins. And now with a great win here, beating the Panthers, great win here in Buffalo. Buffalo 4-0. You know, they're consensus number 1. This is the Sean McDermott, Josh Allen era. This is the team that's going to win a Super Bowl one day. We've been saying this for the last 3 years. They're going to win a Super Bowl one day, right? The Buffalo Bills. And they went into Buffalo on Sunday Night Football and smacked them around. Good rushing attack with Ramondre Stevenson, even though he fumbled. Antonio Gibson got hurt, fumbled the kickoff, but they played well, and that's all that mattered. They won the game. Mike Vrabel does it again versus Buffalo. Somehow always beats Buffalo for some reason, even when he was in Tennessee, and they have at 14. That's a fair assessment. Don't hate. This is my opinion, guys, okay? 13, Kansas City Chiefs. Why is Kansas City there? Pat Mahomes. Because they don't beat anybody. Who have they beaten? Who have they beaten? A shitty Ravens team that has no defense, that are inept on defense? Like, who have they beaten? You have to look at when I'm talking about these guys, you need to see their schedule, because that's the only thing I can base it on. And their schedule tells me they beat the Ravens, who's bad, and they beat the Giants, who are bad. So they lost to the Chargers and they lost to the Eagles. Are they the top of the top of above average? No. Are they below? Are they in the bottom tier? No. They're right in the middle. They're 13, and that's a perfect spot to put them. You know, this game against the Jaguars is going to say a lot, but I think that this is a fair assessment right now to put them at 13. I don't think their defense looks as good. I don't think their offense looks as good. I think Pat Mahomes is missing a lot of wide open receivers downfield. Xavier Worthy, Thornton. They're going to get Rashee Rice back. But again, they're missing a lot of people, and they're going to come back, hopefully. But right now, I have them at 13. That's a fair assessment to put them at. I know they went to the Super Bowl last year, but it's not a last year's ranking. 12, Jacksonville Jaguars. Why is Jacksonville Jaguars on here? Who have they beaten? You know, that's what everybody's going to be asking me. And the Jacksonville Jaguars have beaten the 49ers at 49ers, right? They beat the Texans. Okay, Texans, not a great win. They should have beaten the Bengals, but they kerfluffled and freaking messed that game up with bad game managing. And they beat the Panthers. Again, they beat the teams that are ahead of that they're supposed to beat. 3-1. They're 3-1 record. They beat the Panthers by 2 possessions, or 2 long possessions, 16 points. And then they beat the Texans by touchdown. They beat the 49ers at 49ers, and 49ers are a good team. They're a really good team when Mac Jones is playing, when not Brock Purdy. So I'm going to put him there. I think that's fair to put the Jacksonville Jaguars at 12. Number 11 is the LA Rams. LA Rams would have been higher if they would have won the game, but they didn't win the game, and it's sad to see because there's a good team. I'm fixing my fan. I'm fixing my fan. I'm fixing my fan. I'm fixing my fan. Don't worry. Yeah, so LA Rams would be a good team if they beat the 49ers, but they didn't because the 49ers had no receivers, no Ricky Pearsall. Who else did they have? No Juwan Jennings, no Brandon Ayuk, no George Kittle, and they somehow won the game. Mac Jones, amazing quarterback, one of the top tier quarterbacks. Everybody hates on him. Don't know why. They label him as a perennial backup. He's not. He was supposed to be the number 3 pick to Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. They wanted Trey Lance, the San Fran owner, and John Lynch. That was a mistake. Kyle Shanahan basically said, screw you. Let me take this guy now. Let me make him a superstar now. Because if you know what he's doing, he's at the 1-yard line and they're throwing slants. They're throwing slants and out routes. That's what they're doing to get Mac Jones more touchdowns, to pad his numbers. They want to build him up and say, hey, look, we have this guy. We can trade Brock Purdy. Hopefully that's what the 49ers are thinking, because that's be way smarter. So you can keep your guys on defense. But we'll put the LA Rams at 11. LA Rams at 11. I was ranting about the Niners. LA Rams at 11. They lost to the Niners. They lost to the Eagles, but they're up there. They're a good team. They're a really good team, but I think these 10 are right now are a little ahead, especially with the defensive coordinator of the Rams being an absolute moron, because the Niners had no skill players on the field besides Kendrick Bourne, and they refused to play press coverage and giving them free releases and letting them get 5 yard hitches, 3-yard crossing routes, and breaking them. That's how the 49ers won. Great plan by Shanahan. Stupid play calling by Sean McVay and Chris Shula, I think his name is, for the defensive coordinator of the Rams. Right? If you understand what I just said. So 10, Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders went to SoFi Stadium and beat the SoFi Stadium team, the Chargers, right? The official bank of the arena, the Chargers, where they play at. Commanders went to go beat them. Absolutely dominated. What do you expect? I'm fixing my fan again. I don't know what the frick is wrong with it. But they beat the Chargers. Jaden Daniels back. They look dominant. I mean, it's just what it is. They look good when Jaden Daniels is playing. They score. They can score. They scored 27 on a decent Chargers defense. And they belong at 10. Yeah, I think 10's fair. I mean, they lost to the Green Bay Packers, Atlanta Falcons, but Atlanta Falcons with no Jaden Daniels. But this is fair to put them. They beat the Raiders like they're supposed to. They beat the Giants like they're supposed to. And now they beat the Chargers on the road as a dog. So great win. They belong at 10. Again, they could be higher, but that loss at Atlanta, it's on their record. It's staying there because Atlanta, remember, they just got blown out by the Panthers 30-0, right? So that's where it belongs. At 9, we have Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos could be higher. They're a really solid team, but Bo Nix is their quarterback, and I don't like him. You know, he's arrogant. He's cocky. I don't like that. The guy yelled at his tight end for not staying on a crossing route and sticking in the zone when the tight end probably didn't see it was zone, but yelling at him, like, stay right there, right there, and literally pointing at the ground like he's a dog or like a toddler, an adolescent. And Bo Nix a prick. I mean, that's just what it is. Bo Nix a prick. I mean, so I'm going to put him at 9, and they beat the Eagles, which is a good win, but they lost to the Colts, which they could have won. They lost to the Chargers, which they could have won. They had some games that they could have won, and they didn't. And that's just the Broncos. So they belong at 9. They'll probably be higher after next week, a couple weeks after, when they get some more wins on their belt. They're a good team. Courtland Sutton's a monster, most underrated receiver in the NFL right now. It used to be Keenan Allen for a decade. Now it's Courtland Sutton. The AFC West doesn't get any love at receivers besides when it was Tyreek Hill. Okay, 8, Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks, great team. Secondary was injured. They couldn't cover anybody. They couldn't cover a blanket. So they belong here. Sam Darnold looked like an MVP today. Let's be honest, even though he threw a pick late, he looked like an MVP. He looked amazing. I think less than like 6 clean completions. Absolutely amazing. They played a good team today. I hope you guys see what I see in the Seattle Seahawks, that their offense is legit, with Jack Smith-Njigba being a number 1. He's probably a top 3 receiver in the NFL. I mean, this guy does it with everybody. He does it with everybody. Geno Smith. He can do it with Drew Lock. He does it with freaking Sam Darnold now. He could be a baller on anybody. The guy was open all day in the Rose Bowl. You have to understand that. When you watch him at Ohio State, he was open all day. And now he's doing it with Seattle. And Sam Darnold leading that team to prosperity. They're 3-2. They lost to the Niners, which they should have won the game. And then they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a thriller this week, right? And their defense is getting healthy. Their defense is not healthy right now, but they'll get healthy. And at 7, we have the San Fran 49ers. Like I said, they beat the Seattle Seahawks, but they have Mac Jones now, and they look good. Kyle Shanahan, again, offensive play call wizard, the worst game managing head coach in NFL history. It's not close. But he is the best offensive play caller I've seen this year. Last year, Ben Johnson rivaled him with the Detroit Lions, but it's not last year. It's this year. And San Fran, with that inept offense last Thursday, put up 26 points and dominated. I never thought they were losing that game against. I guess I did when Kyron Williams fumbled the ball. But besides that, for 3.5 quarters, I never thought they were losing that game. It was 1st and 15. First and 20. Mac Jones doing what Mac Jones does. Absolutely just carving up a Rams defense of Quentin Lake, and that's the only guy I know on their defense besides Jared Verse and Fisk. But they were just carving up that defense, looking amazing, and that's what Mac Jones does. And if Mac Jones is their starter, they'll win more games. They'll possibly win a Super Bowl because Brock Purdy holds them back. He's not fit to be a starting quarterback because he doesn't have all the intangibles, but Mac Jones does. Played tennis. They mentioned it 10 times on the broadcast. Played tennis when he was younger. Just absolutely dominated. They're at number 7. Love them to death. Number 6, not even a 49ers fan. Colts, 6. Another guy, Daniel Jones, just an amazing quarterback. People write these guys off. They write off Baker Mayfield. They write off Sam Darnold. They write off Daniel Jones. They write off Mac Jones. Why? Because they're not good to start? Dude, you're going to losing franchises. These franchises are stupid. They don't understand what they're seeing. They are getting quarterbacks. Oh, let's just draft a franchise quarterback and figure out. No, draft an O-line. Build the structure inside out. Inside as in center to tackles, then quarterback, then receiving positions and tight ends. That's what should happen. That is how you build a team, right? And these teams don't understand that. These teams do not understand that. And I'm trying to tell them. I'm just saying, hey, guys, listen to me a little bit. I know what I'm talking about. And Daniel Jones right now on the Colts, he's just amazing. He's just amazing. The guy's blowing out teams, going for 2 because their kicker gets hurt, going for 2 like a winner. You know, they're like, fuck it, we're up by 20. We won't try an extra point with some random. Let's go for 2 because that's what we do. And we're gonna beat Pete Carroll's ass, and that's exactly what they did. They ran the Raiders out the building, dominated. Mark Sanchez was supposed to be at that game, got stabbed because he tried to like molest a 69-year-old or something like that. I don't know what happened, but crazy something happened. Indianapolis Colts, they deserve to be at number 6. They're an amazing team. Their defense is not that great, but their offense is stacked with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman saying, thank God Anthony Richardson is not my quarterback. Anthony Richardson steps into the game today, throws his, I think his first pass or second pass, gets tipped at the line, catches it. That's how everything well is going for the Colts. Anthony Richardson can complete a pass to himself. That's just how good the Colts are. Daniel Jones, welcome back to the NFL starting teams. You know, like this is where Daniel Jones belongs. I put it on Twitter, on my Twitter, personal Twitter. I said, Daniel Jones will be a first-round pick and a great quarterback. And now he's proven me right. And this is what I deserve as a fan of Daniel Jones, right? Just to love his work and strive with him, you know? Number 5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the Eagles, but they beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks didn't have a great secondary. No Love, no Witherspoon. So they had some guys missing. Egbuka is showing up to be a real star. He's a really good player. Who else is there? McMillan doesn't even play. Godwin didn't really do anything. Yeah, it was basically Egbuka. Shepard's caught a touchdown late. Baker Mayfield is showing why he should be in the MVP talks. Again, another quarterback that fizzled, quote unquote, fizzled out Cleveland Browns. How stupid are they? They went actually to the AFC divisional game with Baker Mayfield and lost to the Chiefs, and they were going to give up on Baker Mayfield. Yeah, they're morons. Absolute dumb franchise. You cannot teach stupidity. You can't teach when you're stupid. You're stupid, especially at this age, over 18 plus. when you look at somebody and like, damn, this guy's stupid, you can't change him, man. You can't change the stripes of a tiger. And if you're stupid, you just wear it proudly, wear it as a badge. You know, that's what you should do. Okay. And Tampa Bay have a Baker Mayfield. The Baker Mayfield is showing why he is going to be an MVP front runner. I mean, the guy's balling. You guys can't underestimate what he's been doing. I mean, he had a bad pick versus the Eagles with the 8-minute mark last week, but this week he redeemed himself and just balls out and literally found everybody open. He did what he's supposed to do against a team that has injury problems on defense, right? You're supposed to defeat them badly like he did. And that's just what it is. Tampa Bay's defense didn't look great, but when you can score anytime you want to have a vertical offense, Bruce Arians is teaching these guys right from when he was coaching. Just throw the ball deep. Who cares? Number 4, Green Bay Packers. Oh, inactivity. Pittsburgh Steelers out for inactivity. Green Bay Packers are number 4, man. Come on, let's be fair. They're number 4. I know they lost the Cowboys or tied with the Cowboys. I know they tied with the Cowboys. I understand they lost to the Browns. The Cowboys game, they were never going to win. That game was too emotional for the city of Dallas. Do you understand? The city of Dallas stopped crime for that game. They have to be number 4 because they are the best team I've seen. They have good pass rush. They are one of the best teams. I actually think they are the best team I've seen so far this year. They have a really good pass rush, decent quarterback in Jordan Love. Micah Parsons on their team. Their receivers with Golden, Wicks, Dubes. Like their team is legit. Josh Jacobs in the backfield, good old line. I mean, Tucker Kraft. You can't make it up how good this Green Bay Packers team. If they were winning more games, they'll probably be number 1 if they beat the Cowboys, but they didn't. They tied and they lost the Browns, which was sad. But again, those games are on your schedule and you lose. I have to be fair. Packer fans. They're on the schedule and you lose, but I understand. All right. You can't take the Browns seriously, man. They just got rid of Baker Mayfield. How are you going to take them serious? I understand. Okay. So they're number 4. Number 3 is Buffalo Bills. I told you they look shady. They look shady, right? They look like shit against the New Orleans Saints. They look like shit against the Miami Dolphins. They look terrible against the Ravens, and that's just a fair place to put them right now. We have to put them at number 3 because even though they lost to the Patriots and got smacked around, I think the Patriots were a better team actually than them today. I don't know about, but today they were. I don't know about forever, but today they were, or every other week they're better. But today they were better, and then the Bills need to look themselves in the mirror and realize like, hey, we might need a receiver here. We might need to call Amari Cooper or something out of retirement, and then maybe trade for him again and get him back here because we need some people to get open because Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman, it's not working, honestly, because you have to understand, even though they're getting their receiving yards and Josh Allen's getting his completions, it's all on scrambles. If you watch this, it's literally all on scrambles. So watch the game. Don't just watch the stats. Watch the game. He doesn't. When you ever see Josh Allen's like 3-step drop slant, 3-step drop, like, you know what I mean, hitch. He doesn't because they can't get open. It always has to be something, play action, and then let me scramble around a little bit. Let me go to my left, veer to my left, veer to my right, and then throw something. That's literally what Josh Allen does. So they're at 3 right now because they're 4-1. They beat the Ravens. My camera went off, but I'm still going to talk. They beat the Ravens. They're just a good team, right? And I have number 2. I have Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are one of the best teams in the NFL, right? They can pass. They can run the ball. Dave Montgomery scored for his sister today, and they just looked amazing. So I'm going to put Detroit Lions at number 2. I think they deserve to be at number 2. Even though they lost to the Green Bay Packers, they don't have a bad loss like the Green Bay Packers of the Cleveland Browns. So, and a tie. So I have to put them at number 2. And again, maybe the Lions weren't playing as their best, but again, Taylor Decker got hurt for the Lions. He went out today. Their old line doesn't look great. Even their team doesn't look great. That win today doesn't look as good as people make it seem. They could have really moved the ball. I'm not going to be honest. I know they scored a lot of points. They really could have moved the ball, though, if you watch the game. Okay? And they had a fumble. Yeah, it was bad. Number 1, Philadelphia Eagles. I know they just lost, but they're the best team right now. You can't mistake them from not being the best team. They're the best team right now. I don't think it's close. They just need to get on the same page. They're not on the same page. AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts are not on the same page. Jalen Brown keeps missing him. I'm like, Jalen, just play a little better, Just play a little better. But the Eagles, they're just the best team right now. I mean, they lost the Broncos, but they missed a lot of open deep passes today. They probably could have had 31 points today on them, but again, they didn't, and they lost. But I think they're the best team. They're number 1 right now, and I think that's fair to put them. I think they look better than the Bills. They look better than the Bills do. They beat the Chiefs, the Rams. They beat some good teams, and they belong to be at number 1 right now. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed my video. My camera went off, but I think you guys can still hear me. So thank you guys.